So if we look at the next couple of weeks, this is a very critical time. We look at our herbicide applications that we might have did early this spring. Some of them worked well, some of them didn't. In some areas we had excessive rainfall that maybe leached that pre-emerge herbicide out of the root zone, so we might have some weed escapes coming back now. In some cases we never got in and got our pre-emerge herbicide done, so we got a lot of fields out there with a lot of big weeds that are out there right now. Real tough to control weeds too. We think about weeds like common lamb's quarters, giant ragweed, and we're starting to get some populations of tall water hemp moving into the area as well. And that becomes a real challenge because the majority of the water hemp is resistant to several herbicide modes of action. So products like Roundup Power Max, Roundup Weather Max, we've got resistance to that. And also our ALS chemistries like Pursuit and Raptor. It's getting to be a critical time too for spraying corn. We look at this corn plant here, we're about the V3 stage. A lot of the corn in the area we're hitting that V5 to V6 time frame. And the thing we got to be careful of, a lot of the herbicides that we use, there's restrictions on those labels. So once we get up to that V6 stage, there's a lot of herbicides that are no longer labeled, and the product offerings that we have get a lot narrower, so we've got less choices to work with. We do still have some real good chemistry to work with in those later applications. We've got some good growth regulators like Status and Diflex that do a really good job on our tough broadleaf weeds like lamb's quarters and giant ragweed. Glyphosate is still a really good option. Products like Roundup Weather Max, Roundup Power Max, Cornerstone. Very, very cost-effective weed control. The biggest thing we got to make sure what we're doing is having the right rate out there as those weeds get bigger. As a general rule of thumb, we want to try to control weeds when they're about 4 inches or less. I know a lot of times that's not realistic because the wet weather we've had this spring has kept a lot of sprayers out of the fields. So when we get those bigger weeds, that 6, 8 inch, 10 inch weeds out there, we want to make sure we got the correct adjuvants in the spray tank, we got the right rate of herbicides out there, and we got the effective site of actions to target the weeds that we're going after.